Libra, I just wanted to give you an idea of what I see for the month of May. This is for 2023. It's just sort of a impromptu kind of thing here as I go through. So I just want to quickly give you an idea of what I see here, and then I'll go through a deeper synopsis as we go along. So first off, I do see Nine of Wands. So it definitely looks like there's some kind of resistance here starting out for the month of May. You do have the card of the Strength card, so there's a reason for you to persevere and endure through a big situation here, because there is further out here a Tower moment. The Star, there is definitely something that you're dealing with this month that seems to be fairly significant, and I feel like this is more of a change internally within you, because of the Hermit energy, and this seems to be a very big internal change. Not only that, we also have the King of Swords, which could stand or represent for a person in your life. This could even be a coupleship, but it is a very I would say argumentative, kind of difficult, challenging kind of a relationship if it is in that sphere. With the King and the Queen of Swords could also be two very mature people, very strong belief systems, which may conflict, but there, as I say, there's some clarifiers here below as well, which I'll get into. The Fool energy is taking that leap of faith, of course, and it is sort of going off into a new direction and taking a chance. The Seven of Cups, sort of pondering that position, but as I said, there's some cards further out here below the Tower card that do represent some big issue of some sort that you will be going through, and this feels like this is a very deep transformation. I'll go into the cards below that as well, but for the moment I just want to stay sort of surface, and then we'll kind of get into it. Three of Wands, you're kind of stepping through a situation into those, you're beyond the first steps of something and you're just trying to advance something, but you just have to persevere. So in terms of a creative project, let's just start out with that first, and then we'll kind of expand. In terms of a creative project, I do feel like there's a lot of wands here, and certainly there is, and with the swords here as well, I feel like there's a lot of, even things with the written word, there's a lot of communication, or at least there is. That doesn't have to be communication verbally necessarily. As I said, it could be the written word. It could be anything that is more significant around an area of your life where you need to rely on that attribute anyway. But the Nine of Wands definitely speaks to kind of being in a place where you're drawing towards some kind of a conclusion. And it certainly does speak to a renewal cycle about to occur here. You have a lot of major arcana in May. So this really represents to me, again, very big changes here. The 9 means you're almost into that stage of transition. So at this point, you are integrating something very deeply into your life. And I would say that you're just about through this period. So for the most part, some of you might be going through this currently. Some of you might be dealing with this a little further out. But the Nine of Wands is that card where you need to sort of face one last challenge or another, something that you're not quite through yet, something that you haven't fully allowed yourself to, to develop a skill level in. You're not quite there yet, and like I said, it's just being a little more persevering, a little more determined to be able to draw toward that uh, understanding of something that is going to allow you to free yourself up. So I feel like I said, Nine of Wands is you having a lot of determination to advance yourself forward. So you're actually in a position where you are quite strong this month. And again, I think you would need to be, given that this is going to be something that is internally uprooting you in some way, because like I said, the Tower is further out. So a lot of times when I see the Nine of Wands and the Strength card, usually it could be some kind of, I don't want to say setback, that's usually more Four of Cups or whatever for me, but I mean, in this situation, it feels like there's a long battle that you've been facing, something you've really been enduring through, and I feel like you're wiser for it because you've really learned a lot through this, this enduring path, whatever this is for you. But there is also sort of a suspiciousness that's kind of goes hand in hand with that Nine of Wands because you're quite guarded at this time. But I feel like it's a test of your resilience. It's a test of your faith. and it is still another obstacle to overcome, but it's still about being patient and kind of working through whatever this is. And again, because there's a lot of cards of, like, I mean, even with the card of the star is a card of healing, I feel like you're really having to, really personally, um, how do I say, it feels like whatever you're going through is something that is really taxing on you in some way. Like you're really dipping quite deep into yourself to be able to bring uh find some kind of a resolve or whatever this month. But it does require a fair amount of introspection anyway, regardless. And it definitely is sort of speaking to areas of your belief systems, because we do have the Queen of Swords, King of Swords. So there's definitely, some aspect could even involve another person here more specifically. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like that is more relevant, that you're dealing with. It doesn't have to be a relationship necessarily, but this could be somebody who's very significant in your life that could be coming in here. It does sort of end on more of a positive note, but there is going to be something that is going to uproot things before you kind of get to this point. So again, you're still in that place of having to deal with pressures and feeling a little bit worn out, and that this is too hard, but you are going to make it through. You just have to persevere, put a little more faith in the universe here, that you are almost into a place where you've accumulated enough wisdom to really overcome this big obstacle. And it is a big obstacle because, as I said, further out, it's the Tower, and it is under the Star card. So I feel like this month, maybe not even necessarily facing the Tower in this month, but it does look it look as though that's coming up here. So if not in May, it's soon thereafter. It is going to be something that is a significant uprooting. I would say again, like even with the star card, that is a major arcana. Lots of that, right? Like I said, the star card, the strength card, the fool card, and even like those are the main cards out, of course. So, I mean, the main energies are really, really transforming and moving into this new area of your life. But there is still that aspect of you having to kind of get something right before you move into this energy with yourself. Get something right with yourself. Sorry, just okay, so again, back to the star energy. So again, well, actually, I'll just kind of tap into maybe that King of Swords. Again, this could be somebody that you're dealing with that, is very emotionally detached kind of a person. So this could be really somebody who is kind of rigid in their mindset. And again, doesn't have to be a love interest, but it is still about you in this place of May, trying to unlock your full potential here and sort of move into this place here as well. But this is really somebody who has kind of a scholarly aptitude. And I would say, and if not going to school, it certainly speaks to somebody who does communicate quite well and certainly isn't afraid to use, that particular skill in an area of their life quite strongly. So, but it still feels like there's some very high standards either for yourself or for someone else, and there could be some controlling aspects here, because again, there's the devil card that sort of shows up here too, but I'll get into that further out. So I do feel like there is a very established way of doing something this month, and I do feel like there's a lot of energy that's still required to kind of bring it forward. The King of Swords, as I said, could be somebody who's, very established in a company or very, professional in their department or sphere or whatever it is, but it's still a very independent energy. And I do feel like this is a lot of where you're at. I feel like you're quite independent this month. And again, maybe feeling a little bit isolated in some regard here, because there is that energy of the hermit that's kind of reflective um, and maybe in that space of, still contemplating a lot here because of that Seven of Cups and the Hermit. So it feels like you're kind of in a decision mode here this month. You're really trying to make a decision about something in the month of May. There's also, that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that may be relevant here. It doesn't have to be those specific signs, but certainly a lot of the attributes that those signs represent could be relevant here. But I still feel, like I said, King of Queen of Swords, that there's someone in either in a family sort of situation or dynamic, could be a relationship of some sort here as well. That is, there might be some kind of a negative impact on you, and I do feel like you will turn it around, but it feels like there's something here that is kind of drawing on your energy. Maybe somebody is kind of, you know, in trouble in some way, or facing some kind of difficulty here, but either way there's a lot of intellect that's involved in approaching this situation. So um there's a lot of emotional detachment, distance, a lot of isolation, a lot of sort of singular thinking here. And again, this still could be, there's still so much more to kind of up ahead, with the Seven of Cups and sort that further out energy. And this could even be, um, having some communication issues as well with a younger person, not necessarily like child as in 8, 11, that kind of thing, but somebody that's kind of in their 20s, 30s sort of range here with that Knight of Pentacles. So there could be some kind of distance or some kind of issue around that. But again, the energy feels like it's kind of almost a holding pattern, but yet deep transformation in that way is what I would say. Okay, so we'll go into the Fool energy here too, because the clarifiers for the Star are really the Hermit, the Queen of Swords, and then further out a few others, because I really wanted to flesh out what that Tower moment was about. But the Fool for sure is unlimited, but unlimited potential. But I feel in this particular case, not only is it about moving off in a in another direction, it's very strongly associated to, you really undergoing some kind of deep transformation internally. I feel like you're really in a place of figuring yourself out in this month. Again, and I feel like it's because you're just about to move into some kind of new project and really immerse yourself into something. And I feel like it's changing you on a very large scale. So professionally, personally, spiritually, there's a lot of other aspects here that kind of touch with that, the Fool card and the combinations that I see here. I feel like there's a little bit of confusion about moving forward here. It is, again, you trying to open yourself up to some new level of uh, knowledge. This is something that you're really having to undergo deeper transformations and really ask yourself some hard questions to get through whatever the scenario is here. But I do feel like you will be able to reach those points. Some of this is not going to be just in the month of May, because this is very strong energy in this month. So I feel like this is going to play out a lot further than what we're looking at here. So again, just to touch base, and then I'll kind of recap it. When we're looking at the Three of Wands energy, that's advancement in a particular area. So, and again, there's a lot of cards of you advancing, but again, it feels like advancing in some kind of communication, advancing in a writing capacity, advancing in, like, your energy is still moving forward here, but there's still a lot of creative energy that's around this reading here as well. The three is a card of transforming something. I just also, like, just in kind of glancing back here with that Queen of Swords, of course, that would be you sort of coming into the reading here, Libra, because the Queen of Swords does represent you. And again, because this is sort of dealing with there's the Queen of Cups here, I feel like there's some intuition that you do need to be really, aware of this month, really open to, receiving messages so that you can advance yourself forward. But the Queen of Swords is somebody who's really complex in my mind, with a lot of the other cards here. I think that you're really in a space of feeling very complex, and I think people will be viewing you in that same sort of way this month. Queen of Swords, like I said, still is around keeping direct communications, clear boundaries, that kind of thing. Very protective about your projects and that kind of thing, because you're very sharp and intellectual and self-reliant, that kind of thing. That's the energy I feel here. And I also feel like you're in that place of, not only are you able to communicate or speak clearly, I feel like there's also that energy around problem solving very strongly in this month. Again, I don't feel like you are, I mean, this is somebody who's quite direct, but it still feels like there's an element of hiding your feelings, even though you are communicating well and, very to the point. But again, it's sort of a detached kind of feeling, or detached, that's not really a feeling so much as it is anyway, detached from the situation in the way that you're approaching it. So, I mean, there is emotional cards here with the Queen of Cups and the Strength card, but it feels like it's kind of staying in your lane sort of energy here. Like I said, I feel like there you could be influencing another person here as well with the King of Swords, as well as that Queen of Swords. But again, it's still kind of keeping your opinions to yourself, but being very true to your own belief system, not compromising yourself in any way. I feel as well that, you know, you're refraining from being too dependent or supportive, you know, like you're supporting yourself. I feel like in this instance, I feel like you're in a place, and also being seen in that way as well. Could be career sort of woman here as well, or career man, that kind of thing. But when we see the Knight of Pentacles down here with the King of Swords, I mean, that really sort of speaks to, and of course we do, I think there was a Knight of Wands in here as well. Maybe that was the further out card. Anyway, the Knight of Pentacles is doing things the right, you know, I shouldn't say the right way, but doing things in a very practical way, very careful way. So I feel like you are taking practical steps, and there might be contractual things or papers, things that you're having to sign this month that kind of line things up. And again, you're doing it in such a way that it's one aspect, you know, is connected to the next, to the next, to the next. Like there's stages to this development of some sort that you're, it seems like there's a lot of responsible energy and a lot of paperwork, and it feels like there's a lot around advancing something here. So you're really investing in something over the long haul, and you're organizing things to get focused on the practical matters. So this is using your mind in a way so that you can sort of see several steps ahead of you before you, you know, kind of depart into the, or impart whatever into this new area. This is also kind of setting, I mean, in terms of finances, I didn't really see a lot of energy around that specifically, but the Tower did show something in around there, but I'll get to that in a minute. The Knight of Pentacles does kind of speak to, you know, if you're currently in a job that is still kind of maintaining the same, is what I would say there. You know, you just setting your financial goals, sticking to them, that kind of thing, putting together a budget, whatever. Like you're just kind of making the same moves, I think, that for the most part that you always have. You know, it doesn't feel like reckless energy. I don't feel like there's overspending, anything like that. It feels like your finances are improving, you know, slowly, and it's just kind of moving in a really slow, methodical way here in terms of, you know, your finances. So nothing really dramatic happening in the month of May, I would say. There is going to be something, like I said, that kind of uh, that's up ahead here, because with the Fool energy, I feel like you're about to leap into something that's pretty significant. So, like I said, I mean, we are looking at the threes over here. So it's a new beginning in something. So I feel like for some of you, this may be, you know, a new pathway, a new project, or something that you might be doing on the side, that kind of thing, because there's kind of the energy of still maintaining some kind of a work effort here, but then moving into this new project in some way, or this new area of your life that, again, looks like there's a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of mind involvement. um, and again, with the three, that's about growth, you know, with the Three of Wands, that's about growth and advancement. Certainly does speak to kind of collaborative energy here, but it's also about refining your plans that you're setting into motion here. And I say that because there's so much energy around really organizing paperwork, that kind of energy. The Hermit is still around, like I said, the Star card here. So the Star card is still in that place of healing. That's still something that, it's like following your North Star here. I feel like you're on a path. You're still on that path of kind of getting your moving yourself into a place of more peace, trying to find more balance, more harmony. It's reaching more of your potential. It is a card that speaks to, you know, optimism, of course, and it certainly does speak to having talents and healing energy, all of that. So I feel like you're kind of moving into alignment with something. And as I said, I feel like this is a calling. I feel like this is a path that is something you're intended to take on. The star card also is about doors opening up here and new opportunities being shown to you. So I feel like you might have some promising encounters. And again, that could be in regards to the King of Swords, Queen of Swords. This could be some kind of a connection. And I saw the devil energy, as I said, coming through here too. But I'll pull that out here in a second and we'll go through that. But for now, I just feel like everything is working the way it should. Like you're seeing things optimistically. You're feeling optimistic. I feel like your flow is that you're trying to resolve inner conflicts as well so that you can move in this very new direction for you. There's something that you are very distinctly considering here, and I feel like you are kind of renewing a certain commitment to that possibility. So something is growing here and it will work out better than you expect because the star is that card of things going well in the future. Okay, so we're going to get into the bottom cards here again. I'll just pull these away for a minute. So, like I said, the Queen of Cups energy, so it almost feels like there's another, this could be three people that are kind of, three or four people actually, that you could be dealing with here as well. The Queen of Cups, of course, is still that card of relying on your inner wisdom and all of that, but it is, a queen is somebody who's quite calm, cool, collected, and I feel like that's how you're intended to behave in the month of May, because the Strength card is kind of reinforcing, giving you that strength of will to persevere, but also again calm, cool, and collected with the Queen of Cups. So this is where you've got a lot of inspiration coming in, to be able to grow on a personal level here as well. Again, this could involve a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and I did see the devil, as I said, further out in there, so I feel like Capricorn could be significant here. It doesn't have to be a Capricorn. It could be, somebody who has Capricorn traits, and again, some are Libra, Virgo, or Pisces and, Cancer or whatever, but there's another aspect to a personality. It's not usually one defined sign. So that could be where that devil sort of comes in. But the Queen of Cups, like I said, is somebody who can represent as a teacher or a mentor. So whether this is you or someone else, but it definitely still speaks to, for, like I said, a very nurturing, compassionate kind of person, that is represented here. So I feel like you are somehow more comfortable with yourself because you are relying on a lot of intuition. There's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of cards of, and then most of the skill levels and sort of the rank of all of these cards, like I say, are fairly close in strength. King of Swords, and again we had the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, dealing with a lot of mature energy. So whether this is mature in just mindset or mature as in age, level, whatever, this is still very solid kind of energy and people that you are drawing to you this month, and they will have more of a powerful impact on you. So but again, I feel like starting out the month, there is a certain kind of level of resistance, energy loss, but you're still persevering. There's still growth here. There's still a level of being in control of your own world. And I feel like you're definitely benefiting from this because this is kind of that spiritual path that is allowing a lot to kind of flow inward for you. So there's a lot more vivid dreams. There's a lot more vivid benefits, and synchronicities and that kind of thing that help you to sort of build on not only healing, but also building on areas of your life that you're trying to advance. So, okay, we'll get right into the star card with the Tower. So again, I feel like this is a significant level of development in terms of your personal growth. I feel like this is almost turning you around in a very significant way. So whatever is kind of the precipitating factor that is bringing this forward, that it's going to be different for all of you, but there is definitely an area of your life that on a personal level is going to be strongly impacted, and it's kind of very deeply changing you. And not only is it changing you in such a way that it's bringing about this Ace of Wands, I mean, that energy really speaks to a fiery kind of creative energy, and it's a new start. It's feeling a lot more alive. It's almost like there's a surge of something that all of a sudden kind of brings in this new pathway, because not only do we have and again, this is further out. You're sort of in the place of still healing this month, but further out into May, maybe the latter portion, and into probably June, I would suspect. You've got Ace of Pentacles. You've got 10 of Cups. This is something that's a part of your overall happiness. This is a part of, things that are going to advance you in such a way that it's long-term happiness. Now, the Devil card it kind of speaks to a few different things here. So, I mean, I'll just kind of go backtrack it a little bit here. So before I get too far into that, we'll start out to where we were with the Tower. So again, there's something significant that's coming in here with that star and with the Tower. I mean, speaking to the Devil, I mean, that can kind of personify a lot of different things. It could represent, as I said, a Capricorn, a person, that could also speak to you being overly caught up in areas of your life where you're having to mull through a lot of deep fears, a lot of, healthy or unhealthy sort of trap sort of feelings, or anything that just makes you feel disempowered. So it's you feeling like you're helpless in some way. And I feel like maybe this is past energy. Maybe this is something you're just still struggling through here in the month of May. But I feel like it's you sort of feeling like you are at the mercy of something else or a bigger situation, and not feeling satisfaction in that situation. So it could represent some destructive behaviors and bad habits and that kind of thing. But because of all the powerful positive cards that follow with the aces, I feel like you have the upper hand, and it's changing you on a monetary level. It's changing you on an inspirational level. I feel like it's impacting your world in a quite a significant way. And again, this is just the clarifier. So this is energy that's further out. So even though there's elements of sort of run down kind of mental drain energy, I still feel like you are wise enough and intellectual enough. And I mean, it doesn't have to be high intellect, but what I mean is that you're just using your mindset in a fairly significant way here to sort of control your situation, is what I would say. And it's also being very clever in the way that you're dealing with something, because the Tower does represent something being kind of breaking apart here, that's in around possibly an old dream and moving into a new way of seeing that dream. So it's something that's kind of sudden and unexpected, but the cards are all positive. So I don't feel like this is going to be, I feel like it's just a really methodical way that is kind of earth shattering for you. And a lot, like, it's a huge upheaval and a big surprise about how this transition is going to come about. This could also, like I said, could represent that there is some kind of difficulty that, I mean, on a smaller scale, this could be that there is a situation that is going on with somebody, like I said, that could be a Capricorn, just even the traits or characteristics, or somebody that is, influencing you in a very negative way. But whatever this difficulty is, whatever this big upset is, or this argument or whatever, because there is a lot of wands out here and there's a lot of communication sort of concerns. So, I mean, for some of you, that is going to be relevant. It is going to be an issue with, with a possible relationship, or again, with a significant relationship to you that, somebody who's just close to you. It doesn't have to be, again, in a romantic sense, but this is something of a wake up call here, because it is kind of an upheaval of a routine, or the way in which a belief system is set up, or you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So either way, you do have the strength to handle whatever is coming at you here this month. So, don't worry about it. Just know that, prepare yourself and be, as calm, cool, collected as you possibly can. And, not reacting in the moment. Try to disassociate distance yourself from the emotion that you're feeling right at that moment. Because with the Star card, I feel like this is a sudden period of enlightenment in how to deal with a situation. So even whatever this upheaval might be coming in here, I feel like the Star card is that sudden enlightenment to the situation. You suddenly see with your eyes open how a situation is, you know, how you can deal with it. And like I said, allow yourself this new opportunity or some kind of fresh start out of it. Like, it's your way of sort of balancing things out and renew things, because there's a renewal, there's a healing that comes in with that Star card. And I feel like your persistence and your hard work there is going to show that you have the confidence to believe in yourself here. I feel at the end of the day, and I feel like your plans will be a lot more positive, and the outlook will be more positive, because you feel like you have been able to handle something that's fairly significant, that you know, it's going to improve over the long haul. But in the short term here, you've had to learn something really, or you have been put to the test here with the Tower card. And again, there's so many cards of the Hermit and so on. Sorry, I just have to do something here with my cards. Um, so anyway, just to get back into where the Ace of Wands is here, again, this is a card of really speaking to a whole new start. So for some of you, this is a passionate new beginning. This is really opening you up to a whole new scenario. So you have, again, this is further out. I don't feel like this is happening ASAP. I feel like this is a situation that is going to be pretty significant over the coming months. But there is something big that is going to, it feels very inspiration oriented. Talking about a new start of some sort. So for a lot of you, it's going to speak to you a little differently, but again, it's still around the area of summer could be relevant here as well. And this could be something that is up ahead. So there is some kind of possible journey, although that might be what the Fool card is here. Usually I see six of swords for me is kind of taking a journey as well, and the Sun card, that kind of thing. And I don't quite see that yet, but this might be further out here. But right now is kind of thinking of a new idea, thinking of a possible journey, but it is in some way going to speak to you having to advance yourself, like I said, with a big start. And it's definitely around a new idea that I feel is really going to kind of sort of, how do I say, it's a new idea that's really going to bounce forward here, that's going to surprise you, I think. And again, it's going to change things in terms of the finances, because Ace of Pentacles is some new start with something, um, with money of some sort that could be coming through here. Just a small amount, but it's sort of a token that is allowing you to see that somebody could be extending, a passionate offer that is just sort of a small token of some sort, but there is a lot of passion or attraction behind it. But again, it's a small offer in that respect. But if we're talking about, your finances and that kind of thing, it's an inspirational idea that's going to bring about some positive rewards and again, some financial gain. But it's really about timing being right. And and you're initiating a plan of some sort here, because the aces are all about, moving something ahead in a particular area. But again, you are in that place of, really feeling inspired this month, and a lot of energy is in around problem solving, and it definitely is in around promoting, some, how do I put, problem solving, but also sort of promoting yourself in a way that is a new direction. So there's also something here, like I said, financial opportunity that could be coming in this month, or you're hearing about it. Um, but either way, for some of you, this could be a little further out, as far as a couple of job opportunities, or even three, actually, that could be relevant for some of you here. But there's a lot of really good energy there with the Ace of Pentacles. So something new that's going to improve in terms of your energy level, as well as again, your finances. 10 of cups, again, this is the ultimate transition. There's some kind of significant renewal that's coming up ahead here. You're developing some kind of a mastery in a particular area, and again, for some of you, this is in some kind of communicative type of profession, um, or in something that really deals with creativity and the written word. Good, could be a book, that kind of thing, but it definitely speaks to having mastery that you're going to be transitioning into, and you're preparing for this new beginning. So there's a lot up ahead here. You're still in the energy of moving things forward here, but again, it's really, really significantly going to put you in a space where you're quite happy, because the 10 of cups is the ultimate happiness. So, I mean, it's not the only form of happiness, but it certainly speaks to you feeling a lot more. Um, emotionally connected to a situation or a person. This could very well be in a love situation, or just very connected to a significant person that's not necessarily love oriented, but something's making you very happy, if not in May, soon after, because of this, the combination of cards here. And again, I feel like it's going to surprise you. I think it's going to throw you right off. Because this does speak around a family situation. So there's some kind of emotional harmony or something there. Um, let's see here. So the other part of that would be that you're feeling a lot more safe or protected. Because there is a small token or a small gesture. But again, even with that small token or that small gesture, I think it surprises you, and that's why you're going through that tower moment. Because it's that's the shock of, seeing something improve in a particular area, vast improvement you weren't really expecting or hadn't planned for. So again, it's something along that area, because it does feel like I said, the devil energy is somehow relevant here too. And again, you may be healing from a particular relationship or a particular mode of thought that you were kind of putting yourself through. But either way, the energy around it is pretty positive. And again, there may be, like, I just want to, just in going back here as well, I'm just going to sort of do a final synopsis of this here too. Um, because again, these were the cards that were out that were in around the star. So we'll kind of just review it overall again and just kind of get a sense of how things are going. So again, your final energy out is the Fool. So this kind of speaks to being a lot more fearless, thinking outside the box, that kind of thing. It definitely still has that impulsive energy, but I feel like you're not being impulsive this month. I feel like that's where you may be going into. It's the 2.0 card, so it's not the traditional Fool in that particular deck, but we'll get into that in a second. But it is having a lot more of a playful sort of energy, a little excited, but sort of thinking twice about, am I making the right decision? You're kind of second guessing yourself maybe a little bit with the Hermit, because I feel like there is a sense that uh, you want a clean start. You know what I mean? Like, you want a fresh start of some sort here. But like I said, I just feel like with that, because it's untested ideas, as they say with the Fool card, I feel like you're still in that place of really wanting to, kind of question the path that you're going on, because it feels like it's a pretty significant one. And like I said, when we were talking about the Hermit energy down there as well, and again, that's more of a clarifier. So the Hermit energy still is in around, kind of being a lot more solitary this month. And again, you're kind of relying on inner wisdom and lessons that you've learned, that kind of thing. Soul searching energy, very much in a searching energy. But I feel like you're trying to spiritually realign yourself and become a lot more, um, even though you're withdrawn, I feel like you're just trying to find your own sacred space, is really what the card kind of, it's a solitary process that you're having to deal with this month. And like I said, I feel like that has to be a part of the journey. I feel like you have to take that time to sort of be honest with yourself and really feel inspired, and kind of realign your path with this new, or realign your soul with this new path. Because like I said, it's coming in pretty strongly here, a lot of mature energy. So it's a lot of energy around being, um, capable, is the what I would say there. It's really being capable of taking on this new path, because you're really being very slow, methodical, internal, and again, it's just being very perceptive of what's up ahead here. Again, very ethical in the way that you're advancing yourself. There's a lot of knowledge behind what you're trying to do. And I feel like you are being inspired this month in a very big way, but you're also using a lot of your logic to balance things out this month. Very confident energy, very rational energy. But again, sort of a cool, detached sort of energy as well with the people that you're dealing with this month. And again, when we kind of go back into the Fool energy, now the regular Fool is just about change and taking a new adventure and being optimistic and that kind of thing. But this is the Fool 2.0. So this is a bit different. I mean, this card is definitely speaking to something having more of a, almost like an advanced knowledge. Um, like it's having more of a together knowledge in the way that you're advancing forward. But also with that Knight of Pentacles, I mean, that's also putting in the hard work, being reliable, that kind of thing, building a solid, foundation, and really committed to the task, but it's slow and steady energy there. So, yeah. So, anyway, we'll get right back into where we were there with the Fool. So, again, Fool 2.0, it's a little bit different, but you're still nonetheless taking an adventure, moving yourself into a space of um, a wise. It's a wise choice. This is a wise place that you're moving to. I don't think this is like, it doesn't feel like this is an unwise path for you. I feel like you're really, yeah, you're really making a decision based on some solid energy here. So Seven of Cups, just going to get into that one here. Seven of Cups is also, especially when it's coupled with, the 2.0 card, because that card kind of speaks to like that deja vu. Like I've gone through this before, is kind of how it feels. Like it feels like it's the right path. It feels like, I'm preparing for this new change, but it almost feels really familiar to me, like it's the path I'm supposed to be on, kind of feeling. And again, you're trusting the universe here, and you're a lot more aware this month. It's just all new energy, and even though it feels like you're repeating some kind of cycle in a certain way, like it's almost like it's energy, something you've faced before, it's still, there's more to learn that goes with this path. But again, there's something about deja vu, like I've done this before, but even though it's a new change and it's a new adventure, it's almost like round two, but I'm better than I was before. I'm a deeper thinker than I was before. I'm a different person than I was before while I move into this new energy. So, Seven of Cups, like I said, there's a lot of things, options available to you, but it also sort of speaks to a little bit of confusion. But it's also about trying to make the right choice, not not filling yourself with illusion. This is really about you trying to find a benefit out of um, trying to find the benefit, but also trying to not in the space of analysis paralysis kind of thing, but you just don't want to make the wrong choice as well. So it's kind of that energy, but you're very awakened in this month. So I feel like once you just choose one of the cups and start going here, I feel like you'll be charging up ahead here. Okay, so we'll get into again just the Three of Wands energy here. So, Three of Wands definitely speaks to creativity, definitely speaks to moving ahead, advancing something. You're beyond the two. So, this is that place where you are arriving at some kind of new opportunity or seeing something move ahead so that you can realize the opportunity here. But it's also about a possible delay. This is further up ahead, though. The energy you're in right now is Nine of Wands. So there might be a little bit of delay in getting something started, but you are making progress in this new direction here for sure. So, not to worry, because you are still reevaluating things here anyway, throughout the period of May, probably into June here as well. But it's definitely moving in the right direction, and you will be rewarded for that. I don't see any cards of really stopping. I feel like you're just all for it. You're all for this new direction. Queen of Cups, like I said, still speaks to some kind of a spiritual path, but also using emotional intelligence, that kind of thing. Kind of tuning into your own needs, tuning into others, being a lot more compassionate to yourself, hopefully in this month here as well. Um, some parts of this might speak to a little bit of drama queen, or a little bit of, kind of intense, but for the most part, it's just about creativity and healing, that kind of thing. And again, there's also that energy around, getting to the Hermit. So you're still in that place of really, making wise choices, really thinking it out anyway, overall. So we'll just kind of bounce past this part because I think we kind of, okay. So getting into the Tower. So Tower card does, as I mentioned before, upset things to a certain, but it's more of a surprise kind of energy here. Um, and like I said, I mean, there might be something that is going to be a little disruptive this month. Like I said, it feels like it's going to kind of tear into your peace and balance, but I still feel like you overall are getting through it. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear you apart, because it's just an unexpected change that might cause a little bit of chaos, with regards to a particular person or people. And it does seem to be in around areas of your happiness. But again, I feel if you just stick to the past pathway here, I feel like you're going to start to see that whatever, kind of shook you is not without, not out of your control in the month of May, because I feel like it's just a bit of a wake up call. And I feel like you have to kind of see something in a new way to kind of get past, whatever the shift is. You have to shift something, and able to sort of see this new pathway, this new start, this new emotional start here. Because again, it's an inspired path, but it's one that also involves a little bit of um, higher inspiration of some sort, or higher connection to source, because it's exciting new ideas, and it's sudden. All of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden something makes sense. And I feel like it's a real strong, almost manifestation, like spark is really what that comes to me as. It just kind of ignites things here for you, so you're able to kind of move forward into some powerful new energy here that's going to expand, and it's going to be very grounded energy. Ace of Pentacles, very grounded new start here. So again, there's just a lot of energy here that is, it's new starts, but it's almost like I said, deja vu. It's like this is a path you've kind of done before, but you're seeing new potential in that path. There's a deeper intimacy, there's a deeper sense of um, connection to whatever this path is that somehow you might not have, or have lost track of before, because it's somehow a very grounded path now for you to move ahead. So it's manifesting new beginning, see the potential, that kind of thing, and just you're ready for some kind of new safe passageway, and that's what's going in there. So okay, just final out here again. So 10 of Cups, again, still speaking to the ultimate happiness here. I feel like that's up ahead. And again, it's probably playing out a little further out of May, though, but it is going to be some true fulfillment, and you're feeling real connected to things again. You're feeling realigned in your relationships, or in a particular relationship where you were feeling previously disconnected, where there was miscommunication, disagreements, that kind of thing. But you're putting more energy into yourself here, I feel, and I feel like that's going to bring you some, healing around this devil energy. Devil energy for sure is you kind of combating areas of yourself here as well. I feel like there's a lot of places where you don't feel strong in here. And I feel like whether you feel shame or limited, not feeling like you have the ability to kind of liberate yourself from these areas, just know that you're going to be able to do that, because there's just so much positive energy up ahead here. And again, just to recap here. So again, once we get into that King of Swords energy, that still speaks to the same. There's somebody here that's coming through that is somehow, you're maybe a little distant in the way that you communicate, or distant, physical distance period as well. But I do feel like this is really strong leadership, mature energy, like I said. So people that really have a fairly strong, rigid, possibly in some situations, belief system. But it can also, be that there's a little bit of manipulation going on in this month, and some hurtful words. And, but again, I feel like you're going to be very diplomatic and level headed in the way that go forward here. So again, overall, things are still in your court. Um, okay, so we're just going to get into some of the other cards there, just to recap it all here again. So when we're looking at the Fool, I did kind of go through that. It's a deja vu moment. You've already kind of decided that you're going ahead with a new path here. You've done this before, or you've been very close to this situation in some way before. So I feel like, whatever boundaries you had, that's going to dissolve or disintegrate. And you're going to be able to just kind of jump into a particular area without, feeling like I feel like you're doing it from even though you're jumping in, it still feels from a very wise place, like you've really thought it out this time. So you are being led into this kind of situation, is what that would really speak to. You're kind of being led by the universe into this new direction. Again, we have some devils and pages and the knights there as well. And the fool is usually somebody who's not very knowledgeable, but in this particular deck with a 2.0, you have sort of advanced knowledge in the way in this new direction. So you've done this before. Um, and so I feel like you're wandering into this new area, but again, you're trying to choose the right way to select the path here up ahead. Seven of Cups definitely still speaks to, kind of figuring out some of the things that were baggage that you're trying to leave behind here as well. What is the best way to free myself in this particular situation? Hermit energy, you're still moving on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You're really trying to fix or correct, and really invest in yourself in this particular month. Um, okay. And let's see here. Going through the strength card there again, you're really being appropriately groomed for this particular direction. I feel like you're taking control of any of those fear-based thoughts in this month. I feel like you have a deeper self-realization in this month. And as I said, even though there's sort of some loneliness or maybe isolation in some regard there, like you're just feeling a little more, you could still be around a lot of people here, and there might be some wounding that's going along there. But I still feel like psychologically, I feel like you're really integrating the beast. So you're really getting to know yourself, and you're doing it from a place of wisdom, and that is going to help you to master, the forces up ahead, and that does require strength, and it does require testing. So you don't just move ahead without some kind of test to see whether or not you really did learn the lesson, but you are controlling any fear-based thoughts and any vices or things that hang ups that might have been sort of in your way there. Again, moving into that hermit energy, I feel like you might be in a place where you're trying to discuss some ideas with other people in a very detached sort of way, because the hermit energy still speaks to being, you know, dealing with something at the highest mental level, for yourself. And it also is a place of um, finding out things about yourself where you can realize your internal world and kind of deal with things inferiority or anything that is kind of anything that externally might have impacted you. I feel like I said with that hermit energy and the strength card, that this is going to allow you to really draw on your own mature independent kind of energy. You're not codependent in this month. I feel like you're really relying on you. It's not about kind of your close relationships and that kind of thing here. Almost done here. So I'm just kind of recapping with some of the big cards there. And the other part of it is too, again, hermit energy is very self-sufficient. So again, lots of whatever work that you're kind of moving into, I feel at this point you need to be self-sufficient. I don't feel like you need the input of other people right at this time anyway to kind of advance yourself professionally or otherwise, because there's so much of a personal awakening that you have to do here to sort of keep your head sort of focused, I guess, in your professional life, that kind of thing, or your spiritual life or your personal life. And finally, we will get right into the final cards out here. I'm just again recapping with some of the big stuff because this is the main energy that's out. Everything else further out is you just kind of staying the course, putting in the work and time and effort, that kind of thing. But again, talking about the King of Swords, Queen of Swords sort of energy, it's clear thinking, definitely very forward oriented with your focus. I do feel like you've got some really great ideas and almost sort of uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it's not just inspiration, but it's also very unique thinking in the way that something is coming across here. And again, you're just very keen, very insightful, and there's a lot of intuition that's coming in this month. So I feel like you'll grasp whatever's coming in quite easily, whatever information that you're reading, anything along that line. Things are just going to be very calm, cool, collected, ethical. But I mean, there is a little bit of manipulation kind of energy that might be coming through here, detached sort of energy emotionally as well. But I still feel like you are still following a path where you need to be. There could be a sense that two people feel like they need to be right, and there could be some distance because of that. But overall, I feel like you're just very clear about your position, and I feel like you're using uh, your, um, you're being very ethical in the way that you deal with the situation. So you're being true to yourself, but you're also kind of removing any unclear issues. You're trying to get to the point to resolve a situation. You're very much in a place of kind of tempering things, so that you can. I feel like you're trying to be tactful to a certain degree here with the strength card as well, because they're very powerful cards in this month. Not only just the major arcana, but there's also. Um, energy around just very, very mature people that you're dealing with, or very mature ideas that you're dealing with. Very significant energy overall. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up there. I will just kind of just say overall, these cards in the month of May have some very profound changes that you will be dealing with. So again, it's your courage, your inner strength, your perseverance, your focus, your persuasiveness based on your wisdom, your ability to commit is here. I feel like you've got a lot going on in terms of dealing with some people here, relationships that might be a bit of a challenge, but you are being very removed from the emotional part of it. I feel in some ways you're just kind of dealing with things in a very logical, rational sort of, you know, moment, movement. But there's also you having a lot of ideas that are coming to mind to sort of heal the energy or make a wise choice or make wise decisions. Um, so problem solving, basically. And again, just want to kind of recap with the last part of it here. Hermit energy is also quite significant there, even though it is a little bit further out. But that was the energy that was kind of the first cards out, Hermit and the Queen of Swords. So again, that was the energy of, you want to change your destiny. You're trying because it's in around the star card. You want to change your destiny. You really want to make something um, you really want success in whatever this is here. You want your destiny to change overall, is the message, but you are focusing on problem solving. Definitely final stages of something because you're still sitting here in the nine. That's been going on for some time, but you are in that place where it's rounding up. You are being finally tested with some kind of conclusive energy here in terms of even in a romantic relationship. This could be an old flame or something that's coming back here, or seems to be somehow impacting here. It's somebody from the past that's kind of that could be relevant, but there's just a lot of energy around really having to be strategic in the way because there's manipulation that's sort of coming through here as well. But there's definitely a need for you to be strategic, and there's a lot of talent coming through, a lot of knowledge, wisdom, that kind of thing in this month. Definitely feel like you are doing some deep rooted transformation, which I think this month is going to be, you know, so significant that it's going to you're going to be somebody new, really, in a lot of ways. I don't even think you'll recognize yourself. I think there's going to be some huge epiphany of some sort. Whatever the negative cycle here was with the devil energy that you were dealing with, I just feel like you're transcending that difficulty. And again, maybe that was you seeing that nothing was going right, but somehow, there's sort of this final kind of upset, and then something will open up here. And so this could be you being a lot, fairly maybe irritated. Maybe irritated is where, conflict of words is some kind of verbal argument, but there's still a need for you to be calm, cool, collected. And again, there are elements of that. So it's almost like maybe there were some words and then you could pull back and you're calm, cool, and collected. But either way, the devil energy sort of speaks to that level of frustration and feeling bound by something. So you're not really able to, not feeling as though you've got freedom in a particular situation. And so that is going to open up, though, as I said. But the tower is feeling there could be some sense of betrayal or something that sort of throws the balance off, and you're still healing from that. This, again, for some of you, will be something of a past energy, whether you feel kind of abandoned by somebody here, or whether this is energy around feeling uncertain. Either way, that tower is going to speak to you all a little bit differently, but it does feel like it's around a particular person and a relationship, I would say for sure. But again, you've got the star energy, which is where you're sitting in right now. So it's a card of don't worry. It's a card of there is a new beginning here for you up ahead. It is still something that you can rely on. And even though there might feel like some old patterns, you're kind of challenged by, or rehashing whatever that is for you, it's still a card of, a promising potential opportunity, or some sense of trouble being set aside here. So again, star energy is where you are, you're healing. And I feel like most of the energy that you'll be dealing with this month is huge epiphanies coming through for you in this month. And again, just kind of reflecting back onto that Three of Wands energy, just recapping again. Usually, I mean, the threes can be a group activity, that kind of thing, but because of the combination of cards I see here, I don't really see it as a group activity so much as it is a delay in a situation. So there is progression, but there's also more that has to come out here before you're actually able to be in that energy full on, before it's, really flourishing here. But overall, you're overcoming, any kind of apprehension or anything that's kind of feeling like you need to be guarded and holding back. You're still advancing yourself, despite this guarded energy. I feel like you are still, there's concern, and again, there could be contracts or a lot of paperwork or something along that line that's part of the issue here for some of you in terms of a business. But it's still going, and there is still something unexpected that might throw you for a loop here a little bit with that tower moment coming in. But again, you're equipped to deal with it. And again, I feel like it's going to take some strategizing on your part to be able to handle the situation, but just know that you're in the right place and in the right mindset. Again, there could be some research and study that's required. More, I'm seeing more research, I guess, for some. When I more it just popped into my head here, because research for sure, I would say, is kind of corresponds very well with a lot of the cards here, and more so with, you know communication and the way that you need to communicate something. Research is going to be required. So finalizing everything here, again, there might be a delay on something that still needs to advance further out here. Just stay the course, persevere. You're still in that energy of advancing. There is going to be some kind of an upset, but again, it's more of a personal epiphany and an awakening on how to deal with the situation. You're wise enough to deal with the scenario here. So you're balanced, you're perceptive, you're just being very wise and ethical this month, and that is going to help you to release things and to get ahead and really make the jump into this new space with the Fool card. So again, you've got a fresh start with the aces. They're further out. It's not happening right now, but the card of the Ace of Wands as well as the Ace of Pentacles is going to lead to the ultimate Ten of Cups. So again, Ace of Pentacles is the proof that you are going to be replacing something old with something new here. So that is going to give you a lot of satisfaction with that Ten of Cups. So you've got a lot coming up ahead. So even if it is in a love situation for some of you, there's a bit of a spark, and there is going to be some small token of advancement that's going to lead you to a happy, belief, or that things are going in the right direction. But again, that's still a little further out because these are clarifiers. But just know that right now you're in still a place of healing. And again, for some of you in terms of business, or even a creative project, there is some new pathway. You're still in that energy, and still will be probably in June, where things are really going to start to take off. But the energy is moving to the ultimate level of satisfaction. Stay the course, Libra. There is a lot yet to happen. But May, it feels like huge personal epiphanies and satisfaction coming in from, your own level of understanding of you and how you're going forward. And now it's just a matter of, really deciding on, sitting around waiting for a bit of the path to unfold here yet with that Three of Wands. But you've done this before. This is deja vu. This is kind of doing it with more advanced knowledge, taking the path that you were always intended to take here. This is your North Star. Anyway, so keep moving forward, never give up. This is what I have for you for May. I may do a few other additional reads in May, but this is where I'm going to leave it. And until next reading.